Gobble gobble, my turkeys of the north, and welcome to your GG Replay for Monday, October 11th, 2021. GG Replay is, of course, your Monday, Wednesday, Friday show where we break down the latest in gaming news, hosted by us, the Goodnight Groofs, a place for games, a place for goofs, but also a place to get together with your family and just have a lovely festive season. Obviously, as I mentioned last week on the episode, it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. And you know what I'm thankful for is all of y'all out there listening to today's GG Replay. How you doing today, Matt, on this relatively, comparatively uneventful Monday in the United States of America?
I'm good, but I'm more interested in hearing about Canadian Thanksgiving. Did you have any good food, or did you?
You know what, didn't really do a whole lot this year. We not a lot of family stuff and, getting together, and it's kind of a whole thing with, COVID and everything. So we, Rachel and I just kind of stayed home. Rachel made this amazing veggie lasagna that she makes. And by veggie lasagna, it's like the fake meat. It's not really veggie lasagna. It's more like, regular lasagna, but instead of real meat we use like Beyond Meat.
Okay.
It is very good. Usually at Thanksgiving we'll do that anyway because like everyone else has turkey and stuff, so we just feasted on that and had a really great time. And then Rachel made gluten-free brownies because she's celiac, so I wasn't trying to be super trendy in my meal choices, but I guess they kind of were. But yeah, it was a good time. We had a lovely time, and we watched we watched a movie. I can't remember what it was. Last night we watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, though, and Van Helsing.
Whoa!
So blasts from the past, which there are some films, I tell you.
When I was a kid, I remember thinking like Van Helsing. Even at the time, I knew it wasn't a very good movie, but I remember thinking like, this character is cool. Like this could be a really cool movie, but it's just not.
No, it's I remember there was like, it was rated PG-13, like on my screen it kept coming up, PG-13 for non-stop action violence or something, and I was like,
hardcore.
It is nonstop. Like the movie does not stop. Everything is just from the next kill to the next kill to the next fight to the next crazy CG like monstrosity. It is. If you want an action like monster flick, this is it. Like I don't want that. But it really hits that. I feel like the same tenets as like a Clash of the Titans or something. But even those have like not as much fighting as this. There was no plot. It was all fighting. But yeah, it was a good time. And of course, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I just recently checked, was a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
But weirdly, me and all my friends as a kid, I feel like loved that movie. Like it was just one of those campy classics that was so great when you were a kid in like 2003.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I remember you liking it, but I've never seen it.
I'll tell you, on rewatch it, almost 30 years old, it was pretty bad.
Disappointing.
But there's the nostalgia for me was what made it fun.
There you go.
All right. Well, we're in a gaming podcast here, so let's get into the game stuff because we have a lot to talk about today, and we have had a whole weekend of not talking. So our
Paul,
voices, yes.
I have a correction.
Oh, excellent.
My correction is that you forgot corrections last episode.
All right. Well, you caught me. You caught me. All right. Well, there you go. Just a reminder, I actually almost did it again today, I won't lie to you. Just a reminder that if you come across any necessary corrections, like me forgetting to mention this part, in today's episode, then send them over to ggreplayshow@gmail.com or head down to the YouTube comments below so we can address them in the next episode. All right, Matt, get your mail keys out, open that mailbox, and inside you will find that the reviews are in. Well, it's one review, and that is for something that I think everyone's been pretty aware of because it is just bouncing around there. Back 4 Blood, like a fan 4-stick stylized title here, is a co-op PvE first-person. It's Left 4 Dead. It's Left 4 Dead by a bunch of the people who made Left 4 Dead, right? It's just a new Left 4 Dead, but they don't have the rights. It is a 79 on OpenCritic, which is, I think, really good because I don't think people were expecting that. It is out tomorrow. And what do you think of Back 4 Blood, Matt? I think this would be... I never really got into Left 4 Dead, I will say it. I'm still not really zombied, especially in 2021. I feel like the old Left 4 Dead, franchise was well-positioned for zombie culture. But I will say, I could play this. It's on Game Pass. I think I could play this with buds.
Is it really on Game Pass? I might actually try it then.
I'm pretty sure it is. It was on the beta was like the early access was on Game Pass.
Okay.
And so is the whole game. Yep, it's coming out tomorrow on Game Pass, full game.
Because Okay, well, if it's on Game Pass, I might give it a shot. Other than that, I'm
Yeah,
just like
same,
not really interested. Like you said,
same.
yeah, it literally is Left 4 Dead. Turtle Rock, the developer, made both these games. It's not even like a
Yeah,
lot of the same people. It's literally
yeah,
the same developer. So,
yeah.
they did Evolve as well. So this sort of game type is their thing. I guess it Evolve's a little different. Was that's the asymmetric PvP?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
well, they like the small group, co-ops. Okay. Anyway,
Everyone working together, co-op against like an evil, but instead of horde mode on Evolve, it was like an asymmetrical RPG. But either way,
right,
same
right.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into the zombie thing. It's never
Yeah,
grabbed me. And I know
no,
a lot of people are, you know, with The Last of Us, I like it, but they're different, not traditional zombies. I'm just not into the traditional zombie thing. I never have been. I probably never will be. I liked the movie Zombieland, but that's because it was like a comedic take on the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not super into it. But if it's free on Game Pass, if I got a couple friends who want to jump in, then sure, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I feel like you and I might give that a shot sometime to get in the spirit of Halloween at some
Yeah,
point,
there you go.
which is cool. Because I will say to anyone else, we played a little Phasmophobia this last weekend, Matt and I, and we were terrible at it.
Yeah,
But
totally.
Mike and Josh did say they would help us to get better. So we might have some Phasmophobia streams coming in the future to get ourselves ready for spooky season. I myself am pretty excited. I'm thinking it might be kind of fun to do some like scary, some creepy game streams coming up
Totally.
to that season. So something to check out for everyone out there in the audience. All right.
Twitch.tv/Goodnight Groofs. Give it a follow.
Yeah, should probably say what it is. Twitch.tv/Goodnight Groofs. Check it out. Amazon just gave us like $1,000 just to play New World once. So no, I'm kidding.
God,
I'm
I
kidding. They
wish.
didn't. I wish. Oh my God. All right. Let's get into some stories for today. First off, The Information is reporting that Epic Games may be launching an entertainment division, which would include the production of a Fortnite movie. Epic recently hired a number of former Lucasfilm execs, including Jason McGatlin, who is Epic's new president of special projects, which I always think is like a funny title to have. McGatlin was just do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. McGatlin was previously an executive producer of all of Disney's Star Wars films. That seems pretty interesting. Getting all these Lucasfilm people, getting someone who was an exec producer on all the Star Wars films, or all the Disney ones anyway. This feels like a real, if not substantiated rumor, like something that really feels like they're moving into some kind of entertainment move here. But what do you think, Matt? What do you think of a Fortnite movie or, other Epic game properties, I guess? But Fortnite, I think, is obviously the one on the top of everyone's mind.
Yeah, well, I've been saying for years that it's insane that there hasn't been a Fortnite movie yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if the movie's good or if the movie's bad. It really doesn't matter. The movie's gonna make $1 billion and it's gonna help expand the brand outside of just video games. I know there's also toys, and now of course everyone's seeing Halloween costumes, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But expanding it to movies, that's a big new branch. So that's almost a separate tree. Okay, so you'd really be expanding the brand in that regard. It's shocking to me that it's just now that it's possibly happening. I mean, I don't want to say that that ship has sailed, because it hasn't. Fortnite is still
It's no
massive.
Angry Birds the movie scenario where it was like
Yeah.
10 years too late.
Yeah, they still have time. I mean, the Warcraft movie came out in 2016, I think.
That was also too
12
late.
years after WoW launched.
Yeah.
So, yeah, too late. I really do like that movie, by the way.
Me too. I do too.
Of course, a massive bias, but whatever.
Yeah.
A Fortnite movie could potentially be interesting. I'm sure the cast would be completely star-studded. I assume it would be some sort of animation similar to their cinematics and their cutscenes that they do for the game. What do you think in that regard?
I would imagine, I'm just imagining Lego movie style,
Okay.
where they lean into the fact that a lot of their popularity is based on crossovers.
Yeah.
So I think there'd be like a lot of their own original characters and story and kind of thing. But obviously, like Lego Batman was a big character in the Lego movie, and obviously got his own movie later on. I think we'd get stuff like that where we'd get whoever they can get the rights to, obviously, to give them their characters, and like the Fortnite version of that character would be like played for laughs as a more goofy version, again like Lego Batman and that kind of stuff. I think they'd play that move. and really be very meta and poke fun at like the concept of Fortnite and how they all kind of know they're in a loop and they know it's a video game or something. I think it could go really well. Depending on who works on it, I think it could, if they got people like, I'm not saying, Lord and Miller, but if they got people like that who could make a script that could, I think they could really appeal to children, adults. I think they could appeal to people who don't even play the game. Like I'm an adult who plays the game, but also I think there's like parents of 12-year-olds who could go and find it really funny. Not in the way the Lego movie would, because those parents also at some point probably played with Legos as a kid, Lego as a kid, but still, I think there's something there that could work in a Wreck-It Ralph style, or I don't know. But that being said, I think 3 years is pretty reasonable. Like we said, I think some of these video game movies take forever, and like rights and difficulty can be there. 3 years so far is pretty good. Obviously, there's plenty more to go for them to make it, but I think as long as they make it sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, it'll still probably stick. I don't think Fortnite's going anywhere anytime soon. So I think like you're right. It's a smart move. Every kid in the world, especially in America and a lot of other places, will like beg to go to this movie, and you bundle it with like an in-game event that somehow like reflects to going to the movie. And then you get like V-Bucks. There's so many things you can do here. And it's all part of that metaverse experience where you're actually like part of it, and like going to see the movie can be part of the meta event of doing something there's a lot going on here, or there could be. And I think, genius business move to just like lean into different properties and different media here.
I was going to say that this is a home run, but it's more than that. It's a grand slam. This is a can't lose scenario.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't even have to be good. It's going to be successful. Every kid is going to see this movie. The kids who, if this comes out in 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is, the kids who are older at that point but have the nostalgia for Fortnite will go see the movie. It's one of those things where has there been a Minecraft movie? Because how has that not happened either? Like why? What are we doing?
Like Microsoft kind of dropping the ball on that one, because I know like Notch and his whole and Mojang, they were very like not into that whole kind of vibe, I think. But Microsoft, like, come on, guys. It's weird. Video game movies, especially like cartoony video game movies that they don't become like live action blockbusters and stuff. Even those are hard to find, but especially cartoony ones really seem to not get made, or they take forever. You have stuff like Sing coming out and all these other like goofy like DreamWorks or like, budget brand movies coming out, Illumination movies coming out. And yet, can someone just not crank out like a mediocre Minecraft movie or a Fortnite movie and you would make so much money?
It's crazy that we haven't seen more of this. Kids animated movies make so much money. They do so well. They could spend
hundreds of millions of dollars on this, and I still find it hard to imagine that they wouldn't at least break even, if not make a pretty decent profit, just from like people, like just the kids begging their parents to go see it or things like that. Even if the movie sucks, like by the time people realize that it's bad, those kids don't care that it's bad. They just want to go see Fortnite the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. I think this is a movie that I don't know if I would see it in theaters, because I feel like the theater environment would be as annoying as a possible theater environment could get. But I would absolutely watch this on digital at some point, just to be a part of it.
Especially if it's good, or even like seems like it's good. I mean, this is like way out, but still, if we get trailers that make it seem like it's kind of like what I was talking about, where they're very like self-referential and understand and do the crossovers, and I don't know, give us like a Lego movie kind of thing. Yeah, bring it on. I'm totally ready for it. Like that would be awesome. But I'll take whatever. I'll probably watch any version of it just because I don't know, why the heck not.
Chris Pratt for Jonesy. He's so cool.
He's so cool. All right. I weirdly think that would be better. Not weirdly. That's obviously better casting than Chris Pratt as Mario. Like that works fine. Weirdly, I think that's like better than. I know he's like a shoe-in obvious Mario, but I still think that's even better casting. All right, let's move on. Talking about Polish outlet PPE is reporting that a retail source tells them to expect a December 7th release for Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition. Terrible name for a game. PPE's source indicates that the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch versions will launch physically on December 7th, with the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S, also a terrible name, version coming next year. The retailer had no knowledge of the PC release, but Rockstar previously stated that it would come this year, so presumably around the time like the console releases are coming, and mobile coming in 2022. Kind of interesting because also we had a report from industry insider Tom Henderson who claimed that Rockstar was looking at a November launch. So we're getting some different stuff here. Obviously, this seems to line up. I mean, they just said the game's coming out by the end of the year, so we only have so many months left. So it's like, oh, it's either December or November. Who would have guessed, right? um, but that being said, I mean, obviously it's not October. That would be, they would have said if they were coming out with it, like, it's out next week. But yeah, okay. I don't know if you saw that right before we get into it, but I don't know if you saw there was like a Reddit post today where someone like showed a mod version of the GTA 3 game or some of the other games, and there was like this famous visual mod that like it's pretty good and it like smooths it out a lot, and some of the scenes look very good that aren't not consistent with the rest of it. People are like, this is what you can come to expect probably from like what the remaster will look like, and just the entire thread is like people going like, yeah, it's gonna look more like it's like the top part where the old game graphics are, it's gonna look like that, but like maybe higher fidelity so you can see the polygons even better.
It's got to run on Switch, got to run on mobile.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously, mobile's coming out a little bit later, so it makes you wonder maybe if they're gonna have to tune it down. But obviously, if they're doing it that way, where they're coming out with like the higher budget, whatever, the bigger version first, and then tuning it down, obviously it can't be that different if it's able to even ever be brought down to a part where it can run on mobile. Matt, what do you think? Are we getting December? Are we getting November?
Oh man, I don't know, but I do know
both seem soon.
Both are soon, and if it's November, then Rockstar needs to educate us on this project like ASAP. Yeah. We're almost halfway through October, and no one even really knows what this is. Is it a remake? Is it a remaster? Is it are there a ton of changes? Is it really just small visual changes with a couple gameplay changes? We don't really know. Like this could be a very minimal upgrade. Yeah. And I'm kind of leaning toward that probably being the case. Yeah. Very small visual upgrades, just smoothing things out, maybe making the controls a little bit easier and more consistent. And really, I think that's going to be about it. I think that Rockstar just wants a way to repackage these old games and sell them together. And I don't know, I have to think about it more. I don't know if this decision by Rockstar is good for game preservation or not. I know that I don't like that they're taking the old games off digital stores.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see the thing with like all the people review bombing on Steam? Not like review bombing, but going in all the Steam reviews for all the GTA games and being like, make sure to buy these before they're delisted, like, yeah, because that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Do you know what price they're selling those old games for? I assume they're.
I haven't 100% checked. Did you see that there was one more rumor though that I saw today about GTA, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, which was that it's supposed to be quote expensive. There was a quote saying it's expensive. So we don't know 100%, but a lot of people were like, is this going to be like a fucking $60 game? Like, are they really going to charge us like that much for this should be $30 or bust, like really, for what is probably going to be nothing. Again, we don't know, but like feels like nothing.
So GTA 3 and Vice City are $10 on Steam, and San Andreas is $15. That's pretty fair.
That seems really fair.
Now, I don't know, Paul. I just don't have a lot of. I think that this trilogy is going to do well because whatever Rockstar puts out is going to sell pretty well.
Yep.
And a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for these games.
And you get not as savvy gamers too. I'm not saying we're super savvy, but people who aren't like PC savvy, they're just going to go on the Xbox store and buy them because they get advertised to them and they're like, cool.
Right. I see this being not great publicity wise for Rockstar. I see a lot of people getting very hyped up about this and being let down. Agreed. Now, they are kind of hyping themselves up probably for like there's no real reason behind it because like I said, we know nothing about this. So I would just make sure that what I would tell people is keep your expectations as low as possible, and if it does blow us away, that's awesome, but keep your expectations for this thing as low as possible.
Yeah, I think seems to be the underscored note I've seen from everyone. Just keep your expectations low. If you want a kind of an easy, accessible way to get in and play the old games that might be a little bit beefed up, here you go. That's cool. But also, yeah, keep your expectations low. And also, if you're worried about, maybe not caring about, if you don't care about any of those remaster, again, we don't really know what the remaster is going to be, but if you don't seem to really care and you just kind of want to play those games and have the experience, maybe just go buy them on Steam for $10 before these prices shoot up. We'll have to see. If the game comes out for like $30, it'll be a steal. It'll be cheaper than Steam, but I don't know. And how often do those games go on sale like the old ones? Probably a Steam sale. You can probably get them for dirt cheap, I would bet. But
I know Rockstar has been shutting down a lot of mods, but I imagine there's at least some graphical mods out there still for those old games.
Again, some of these graphical mods that I saw, if you're like a PC gamer and you're willing to put in like even a small, not to make a pun, but modicum of effort, I do think like the one that people were showing on Reddit today, they were like, look how good this game could look in the remaster. That looked great, and I think it's looking better than what GTA is, like what Take-Two and Rockstar's actual remaster will look like. So if you're feeling kind of savvy and you just want to make sure you're going to get the best bang for your buck, that might be worth checking out. But always keep an eye out, because you never know. They could throw us imagine it looked like GTA 5. I don't think so. I don't think so, but that would be cool. All right. Moving on, talking about something I'm mixed about. The Pokemon Company made a statement for Kotaku regarding Pokemon Legends Arceus that seems to indicate that the game is not fully open world. So we're kind of getting ideas here that the main town will act as a hub with branching areas for the player to explore. I've seen multiple people compare this to like Monster Hunter Rise, which is kind of interesting. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, Jubilife Village will serve as the base, this is a quote, for surveying missions. After receiving an assignment or a request and preparing for their next excursion, players will set out from the village to study one of the various open areas of the Hisui region. Hisui? Hisui. After they finish the survey work, players will need to return once more to prepare for the next task. So it sounds like, obviously, hub world, you're going into large open spaces. So I think there's two things here, two questions to ask. Is this better or worse than open worlds? But also, is this good enough? I think they're different questions. Like, is this good enough from Game Freak with the money and the resources and like how big a deal Pokemon is? I think, honestly, a hub world isn't bad. Like, if that's a stylistic choice to have a hub world and having big open regions, I think that's pretty rad. I'm not anti that. But also, is it a technical reason? Is this because of development time? Is this another kind of half-assed Pokemon game when Pokemon is the #1 selling media franchise in the world? And, I understand there's pressure on Game Freak as well from the Pokemon Company to like come out with new games every like 2-3 years. But still, I don't know, just maybe the Pokemon Company and Game Freak combined, couldn't they have sat there and been like, hey, make Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, and then in the background for like 5 years or something work on like a really crackerjack Pokemon game. But I feel like, I don't know, was this enough? What do you think, Matt?
I think that it's fine. Personally, for me, the more I think about it, I think that this is just not a Pokemon game for me. I kind of just like my traditional Pokemon, and I would love an open world version of that to some extent. I don't know. I do really like the old school Pokemon where you're on a route and you're going from, there's a fairly linear path from one city to the next. I kind of just like that. To me, that's Pokemon because that's what I grew up with Pokemon. Although it's nice to see the series evolve a little bit with Legends Arceus and just go a totally different direction. I just don't know if it's for me. It might be a good way to bring in new players to the franchise, but I don't know if it's for me, Paul.
But what if what if you're thinking of it like a Pokemon game that's different, but what if we take it from the other perspective of it's Breath of the Wild, but you can catch Pokemon in it? Does that elicit more interest?
I don't think so. Not for me. No. It's hard for me to imagine a way that can work well. It's just
I think that's the issue here. We're not sure if this is going to work out. Yeah.
I think the problem is that the way that Pokemon plays was never built around something like that. And I know that, like, obviously when The Legend of Zelda first came out, it wasn't built to be an open world, but it's a little bit different because that that's something that
I
it's
mean, Pokemon does feel like the world of Pokemon and the way it like works does seem like it would lend itself to an open world game. It's about a world of people catching,
I
you know what I
agree with
mean?
it in
In
concept like
theory,
that. I
in
just
theory.
the way that Pokeballs work, like the idea of Pokeballs, make it difficult in my mind, like how that would work in an open world setting, and like Pokemon battling, like it's just so ingrained in this turn-based combat that I know it can work in an open world. You can
It's hard though, I think. I think it's really hard to do that right. And I really don't feel like Arceus is doing it right. It's doing it a way that is like maybe halfway there or some of the way there. But I think ultimately I don't really want some of the way there. I'd rather just wait on RPGs like their classic Pokemon turn-based and then just like go all the way. But I understand that it takes time to like build that. But I feel like we know what we want now. Like I feel like we know we have the technology now. We could do this like game where it works, but they haven't. So I'm not really interested in like halfway there at this point. I'd rather just go back to the old tried and true.
to me, this Arceus game is starting to feel more and more like it's really just. It really feels like a spin-off. It just doesn't feel like a
It,
traditional Pokemon game,
and
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 it's
I think it
not.
is.
But it's just so weird. Like it's just so the way that it plays is so different. It's such a departure that
It's a
it's
test game, you know.
yeah. That's really
That's what
what
I
it
feel like.
feels like.
And they're taking a lot of pieces. They're taking like the systems from Pokemon Go and some of the systems they have from other like
Mhm.
Pokemon franchises. You know, the way that you catch them and that whole setup looks so much like Pokemon Go. I think they're trying to combine some of these real world AR stuff and try to put that back into Pokemon, but then also like I feel like the world doesn't feel as alive as like the other games because
Mhm.
I think they're just to be able to do it with the maybe the amount of time or money they had, they had to probably like skimp on something. They had to scrimp on something, so they kept like this kind of really interesting new thing where you catch Pokemon more open world, like Pokemon Go. But then in that they had to not add as much to this world and maybe not make it feel as alive. They had to go back in time to when the world was more chill and like simple because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
couldn't like.
yeah.
And it's like yeah, but like I would have rather, and I know up to me, but I would have rather just they took a few more years and like really went for it and like made this game that had all of these cool like AR features, this like new open world kind of game and just brought it into the future. But I, I think this is like a halfway measure. We'll have to see how this sells. If this sells well, I was gonna say this could like make them see proof of concept and then they might go further and do that game. I doubt it though. I think if Arceus does well, they'll just make more game. They'll
Those
make
make the same
Arceus
thing.
2 at
Yeah.
some point, and it's just gonna be also kind of medium. And it just sucks because Pokemon in concept, and again, we have the technology now. I think we look at like I don't know, it's not the same, but like Temtem, there's stuff where you have these like open world, really cool games now that like I think we could do it, and I think it sucks that they just don't care. They don't want that. Like the developers, the publishers, Pokemon Company just doesn't really care. They're making their money. They're fine with what they have.
I think it's fine to go back to the main topic at hand. I think it's
Mm,
fine that it's not fully open world. It feels very in line with current JRPGs to have this hub world, and then you branch
totally.
out into, even if it's not like one area, maybe there's like three large areas that you go
Yeah,
to that have different themes, different weather, different environments, different landscapes, all that kind of stuff. It just makes sense to me. I mean,
I agree.
I don't. I think we were all. Everyone was hoping that this would be fully open world, but I don't think that this is like a make it or break it sort of thing at all.
I don't think this makes the if I think if you're interested in this game, this isn't gonna yeah, like you're saying, it's not gonna make you not buy the game anymore. There are some people that seem kind of disappointed, but ultimately large open spaces that are like three regions that are all very large or large maps or even not three. Let's say there's like 10 medium-ish maps. I don't know. I think that works as long as you can't see the edges and you don't feel like you're in a pen. I think that stuff can work, especially I almost feel like this could make it so that they can add more points of interest and things like that. If they don't have this big open world, it might be easier
Yeah.
for them to, put a team on making this region really work and add little things to it. And you can more flesh that out, I think, when you don't have all that kind of stitching space between that kind of blends them all together in an open world. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that I'm still hopeful that this game like is I'm wrong and this game's awesome. But we'll have to see.
Or if they ever do, to go along with your point, last thing here. If they ever do DLC, it's easier to add a new small zone that can branch off the hub.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to try to like make it make sense with the open world. They can just add another hub zone or multiple hub zones, which is cool. Or not hub zones, multiple, regions, extra zones.
Not that I expect them to do DLC. But.
No. No, I don't expect a lot here. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I probably won't be playing it anytime soon, but it's neat. All right, moving on. Unless it gets emulated on PC, Kotaku can tell me how to get it for free.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Tom Henderson stated very confidently that Call of Duty 2022 will be Modern Warfare 2. Henderson stated that he's seen the artwork with the title. He noted that the title can change in development, but the idea is still a sequel to Modern Warfare. Makes total sense. I think that is still the most popular COD game right now. Like, right? That's like people still go and play Modern Warfare over Cold War, I think, like in the online lobbies and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I know I'm still playing it. And I'm excited about this. I loved Modern Warfare. It got me back into Call of Duty after a long time of not playing Call of Duty, mostly because I had been out of FPS for so long, just because I was like, I don't think I'm good at it anymore, or that I'll have fun. And I'm by the way, I'm still not good at it, but I am having fun.
Were any of us ever?
And that's what matters, is the having fun. So, but the campaign, the multiplayer, Warzone are all just so good in Modern Warfare. So to see a sequel, that's great. I wasn't interested really at all in Cold War. I'm not very interested in Vanguard. So yeah, next year I'll get Modern Warfare 2. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, I'm psyched for it too. I think it'll be really, really cool. I mean, psyched for it's the wrong word for me. I might get it though. I'm thinking of maybe picking up Modern Warfare on a sale actually, and maybe getting in there with you, and maybe that'll get my blood pumping for Modern Warfare 2 again. But I agree. That's always like, that's one of the big ones. I mean, Black Ops obviously had great online and people really got into that, maybe 10 years ago. That was a huge thing. But I think Modern Warfare, I mean, in let's say the Xbox 360 generation, I mean, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, the thing that brought COD back. Like that was it was like this tired World War II genre. Every game was this World War II game, and then Modern Warfare came out, and and then every year since we've had a COD, and it's been like the most popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that really ushered everything in, and I think every time there's a Modern Warfare game, that really is like the bread and butter of what they do. So it's cool to see that again.
Totally, and it's not shocking at all. I mean, Modern Warfare did so well, people really like it. So yeah, do a sequel. Why not?
Yeah, these games are in their kind of like their tick tock or whatever you want to call their, they have their every few years a certain one happens, and we're due for a Modern Warfare, so it makes total sense. All right, Neopets is attempting to cling to relevancy. This is Matt editorializing over here and financial security with a new line of NFTs. Of course, our favorite non-fungible
tokens.
Tokens, right. Jumpstart Games, the current developer and publisher of Neopets, is partnering with blockchain firm Radium to create these products. Great. Jumpstart is describing these as, quote, equally unique, algorithmically generated, lovable Neopets NFTs with variable backgrounds, assets, clothing, and personality, with 7 varying trait categories. Stupid. NFTs are shit. They're horrible for the environment. Here's the thing. I think in theory, they're super interesting. And I think like this is an interesting trend to note for like economics study and things like that. This is so fascinating that this is a thing that even works and people are interested in. It's really, NFTs are interesting, but they're garbage. And I think Neopets NFTs are probably going to be really, really successful.
I'll be honest. I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm old and I don't understand NFTs. Now I understand other blockchain stuff like the crypto and all that. NFTs, the crypto. I just don't get it. I don't understand why someone wants to buy this picture of an ape so that they can say that they own it.
Because you own it.
It doesn't make any sense to me, Paul.
No.
It doesn't make any.
No.
I saw the other day.
It's like that thing with that app where you could buy the app on your iPhone, like in the year of the iPhone app store, where it was like $1,000 and it just turned your screen red, and you could be like, I bought the app, so like that I have money.
I saw it last week. Someone bought like an off-brand dick butt NFT for $65,000, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? it just shows me there are a lot of people with money.
That would be something.
A lot of people with money out there just to burn through, I guess. That's
what it
is. Seems like.
I think we're just seeing all these collectors and stuff normally that are behind closed doors who buy stuff that like gets traded around because everything on the internet is so fungible. Typically it isn't the place where collectors go, right? But I think now that we have NFTs, we're seeing this whole thing that we never knew that are like, sneakerheads, and you have like art collectors and things like that. Hey, here's a brand new thing that they could find, and it's way more public. So now we just see what really was happening all these years. Just in a much more public and stupid space. So ridiculous.
Yeah,
I hate to like rag on it because it makes me sound like I don't understand what it is. I understand what it is. It's bad.
I included this because I thought it was funny. I really don't have anything else to say on it other than Groove Coin coming soon.
Groove Coin coming soon. Get a picture of a dick butt version of me for $1 million. And it only took the power that could have run, I don't know, the country of Lithuania for 10 years to do it.
Perfect.
They're worth it, honestly. Yeah, but like I said, I think this will be super successful. Neopets are really popular. The game is barely playable anymore. I think like modern browsers still can't really run it anymore properly because all this broken Flash stuff and like mobile is supposed to have come and worked, but it still kind of doesn't work.
Yeah, they were supposed to go on mobile, and then it was just like a browser version of the website.
It was a mobile site, but even then it only kind of works, I think. I did kind of look at it, but Jumpstart seems like jerks, so I don't really want to get involved with them too much either way. But either way, people love the concept of Neopets though, and there's a lot of rich millennials who I bet would just toss some money into owning their favorite Neopets with unique assets and varying trait categories. Honest to God. I love how much my favorite part, and last thing I'll say, is just like the fact that they have so many permutations. Like it's not like they're like, we're going to come up with a few special Neopet things. It's like they're going to be backgrounds, assets, clothing, personality, trait category. It's like you could probably make like thousands of Neopet NFTs with this, or more, millions with these like categories. How many do they think they're going to sell?
They need cash, clearly.
Probably a lot. And is this going to be the resurgence of Neopets with all this cash? No, it's going to be Jumpstart Games just chilling on a pile of money. All right. Well, you know what? That's my rant for the day. But you know what? Before you head out of here, I just have a couple things to remind you. First off, we do have a whole website, goodnightgroofs.com, which is pretty cool. We have podcasts like this one, and also our all-encompassing gaming podcast, Game Groofs, which normally comes out on a Sunday. But if you're a patron, it does come out on Friday for you, which is pretty awesome, at a $3 tier. So we do have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/goodnightgroofs. The links are also on our website for that, which is really, really awesome. We also have links to our YouTube videos and everything on there as well. So we have a $1, $3, and $5 tier. I'm all over the place today for Patreon, which is awesome. So go over, check it out, and we would appreciate anything anyone is willing to give. Or if you just want to do anything nice for us, it doesn't cost you a whole lot of money. Whatever you're listening to this podcast on right now, whether it is Spotify or Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, or any podcast app, or even on YouTube where you're looking at our beautiful faces, if you can give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, a like, and maybe even leave a little review, it means the absolute world to us. It takes about 10 seconds, and it is the best thing ever, and it makes our day. So we'd love to hear it. One last thing, don't forget to listen to Game Groofs. It just came out yesterday, so make sure you go check that out. But Matt, do you have anything else to say before?
Well, while you were wrapping up there, I just spent my life savings on a Jub JPEG. So, but I own it. No one else has it, so it's just me.
No one else has it. Oh, baby, I'm getting me a flotsam 8x10. Of course, not an actual 8x10, but when I print it out for my computer to put in an 8x10 frame, I'll know that I own that digital file. This is pretty good. All right, that is going to be it for GG Replay for today, for October 11th, 2021. Make sure to check back in on Wednesday, because we'll be back here once again for another GG Replay. Good night, Groofs.